Hi everyone, this is Toothless Grin here. I'm battling kind of a cold, so forgive my speech. I'm also here with Look at Our Big D. Yes, exactly how it sounds.
Yep.
And Bleed Teal. We're doing this podcast today just literally out of the blue. It was very random, mainly because there's a lot of stuff there's a few things for sure that I wanted to cover, and I'm sure these guys have stuff to bitch about as well. First thing that I am going to talk about is Montreal. Yes. Yes, Habs fans, you guys need to relax.
Or just cover your ears for this, because we know how you don't like to hear when you guys are wrong.
Yeah, you
Yes,
can press
or
that mute
cover-
button now if you'd like.
Yes. And see, I'm happy for Montreal. I hope they break the record. I hope they go 11-0-0, because the record is 10. I think the record for the best start technically is 10-0-1 set by the 06-07 Sabres.
Yes.
But here's the thing. There's only been two teams that have started 10-0-0. Neither of them made the Cup. I don't even think they made the Cup finals, and that's the 06-07 Sabres and the 93 Leafs?
The 93-94 Leafs lost in the semis, I want to say. The Rangers went on to win the Cup that year.
Yes. So, I understand there's the excitement. I understand there's everything. I know you have Carey Price, who is, and I'm not afraid to say it, is the best player in the league right now. And I can say that, even as a goalie, whatever you want to call it, he's the best player in the league. But, even with all that, even if we just look at your team as a whole, you have 3 goals sorry, hold on. Know that one? My child is in the background, as you can tell.
Shout out to children interrupting the podcast.
Yes, it's fine.
It's always fun.
There you go, bud. You're welcome. No more fruit snacks. But like I was saying, you guys have Dale Weiss, who has 3 goals this year. You guys also have Torrey Mitchell, who has 3 goals this year. You cannot realistically expect them to keep up a 3-goal pace over a 10-game period. Technically 9-game period, but I'm not expecting them to score at night, so we'll call it a 10-game period. That is the definition of unsustainable. If you're counting on your offense to come from Dale Weiss and Torrey Mitchell, you are in a world of hurt. So, I again applaud Montreal. They've had a tremendous start, and I'm not saying they don't deserve it. I am just saying that everything has fallen together at the right place, the right time, and the stars have aligned just right. Which it doesn't matter. A win's a win. 2 points are 2 points, and at the end of the year, no one really gives a shit how you got the points as long as you got them. But just pump the brakes, calm down. Don't plan your parade route yet because you don't know what's going on right now. Thoughts?
It's still only 10 games in.
Exactly.
We don't even know how they're going to play. Now, Montreal can be applauded on their consistency as a team, but that only goes so far when you look at the players who are leading the scoring right now. Players that don't normally, their names aren't on the sheet. Dale Weiss, Torrey Mitchell, Thomas Fleischmann's climbing it slowly. Alexander Semin's been pretty quiet so far. He has a couple assists and a goal. It's like all these players that we thought were going to be detrimental to the team are only doing just enough to help them win. So to exceed this record and to evidently go to the Stanley Cup final and beat, like I said, my playoff favorites, the Sharks, they're going to have to open up that entire team to start scoring.
Yes, exactly.
Like I said, Montreal, San Jose, Stanley Cup final. Montreal takes it in 6 if they are consistent and if all of their players can start scoring, not just these 3. Not like, I get it, their captain is the leading scorer in the NHL right now. Pacioretty is having a fantastic start to his season. But in the NHL, 82 games, consistency is what's going to help you win.
Right, and ultimately what Montreal needs is Galchenyuk to wake up. I think Lars Eller has a couple of goals, so he's doing his part. But there's just players that need to wake up for them to continue success, because ultimately Pacioretty's not going to be on the scoring tear he's on, and he's the only one, and that's why I left him out, because you know what? I can expect that. That's numbers for him. I can expect. Yes, that's fine.
That's why he's wearing the C in Montreal.
Right.
Yep.
But like I said, if you're counting on Dale Weiss to chip in 3 goals every 10 games, you're not gonna win many games by that.
No. He's a fourth line. He's a fourth line player playing third line minutes right now, and he's still doing pretty good. So.
Right, and I'm not saying he's a bad player by any stretch either. I'm just saying he's not a scoring threat. And right now,
he's not Gallagher. Right, in Montreal terms, he's not Gallagher.
Exactly. So you have to accept that and move on. And that's fine. Now, their goals against average, like as a team, I think it's like 1.33. That I buy. I completely understand that. That I think they can sustain because they have Carey Price, they have a hell of a defense, and they have a hell of a defensive system and a defensive team.
That's been discussion in the NHL, though. It's Montreal's problem isn't defense or goaltending. It's always been offense.
Right.
Now they've kind of shut people up after that Buffalo game where they won 7-2.
And Buffalo, though.
Buffalo's got its own problems this season already, but
yeah, Evander Kane's out 4 to 6 weeks with an MCL sprain.
Yep.
They don't have Robin Lehner either, who was expected to be an elite goalie at this stage in his career, and now he's got the injury bug. I'd say that's gonna probably be detrimental to the rest of his career.
It could, well, yeah, because he missed most of last year with a concussion. He has a high ankle sprain to start this year. I mean, what? He's played 1 game this year so far?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and that was a loss. That was a loss. Both games.
And not that anyone, I don't think anyone truly expected Buffalo to make the playoffs. They expected them to be improved, yes, but I don't think the playoffs was what people were saying was going to happen in Buffalo.
Yeah.
But, like I said, it's going to be hard to even improve when you're relying on Chad Johnson to win you games.
I was just about to say, it's kind of hard to be a playoff team when your number 1 is Chad Johnson.
Yeah.
And your number 2 is Linus Ullmark, who lost his first NHL start.
Yes. But, like I said, so, again, that's Buffalo. Like I said, Montreal, I buy the defensive stats that they have, the 1.33 goals against. It seems ridiculous, but they have the goalie to do it. They have the defense to do it. Their offense I'm not sold on yet because, again, you have 3 goals. You have 6 of your total goals are from Dale Weiss and Torrey Mitchell, which is
2/3 of your third line.
Yes.
Are they third or fourth line? I can't remember. I think they're third.
I want to say third.
I don't know.
Yeah, feel free to correct us in the comments, but I'm pretty sure.
Third line.
Yes.
Okay. Can we go right to the most non-offensive team in the NHL, the Anaheim Ducks?
That's what I was going to go to next.
What the fuck is happening in SC?
They almost, in modern NHL times, no one has scored less goals in the amount of in 10 games. Literally, I heard it on SiriusXM today. You had to go back to 1930s to the New York Americans to find a team.
Damn.
To find a team that has scored less in the first amount of games, or to find the same amount, which is 6. They scored 6 goals this year. And we're talking about a team with Perry, with Getzlaf, with Kessler, with Cogliano, with all these players. Silverberg, all these players. But yet, they've tied a record from the 30s. Another team that did it was the Pittsburgh Pirates when they were a hockey team, literally.
Now here's the thing: as the Stars admin, and as a Stars fan, I have to ask: can Niemi or Lettinen keep them quiet?
Tonight, I think
Dallas.
I can say it. I think here's what's going to happen. Here's my crystal ball reading, which I don't know if it's going to end up happening or not. But this is what if someone said, well, you get $10 free, put money down on Bruce Boudreau's career in Anaheim, I think he loses tonight in Dallas, and then I think he loses. I think they lose again in St. Louis, which is their next game.
Damn.
And I think he's fired.
Yep.
He
Now,
needs
here's
to
the
be
thing.
fired as soon
Bruce
as possible.
Boudreaux couldn't perform in Washington. That was his big issue. That's why he was fired, is he couldn't lead them to the playoffs. He couldn't have them successful in the playoffs. He goes to Anaheim, and Anaheim has a fantastic series against
Chicago.
Winnipeg and
Yeah,
Chicago.
Winnipeg first, right?
But that's about it. You have offensive talent such as they beat Calgary too, four games to 2. That's right.
Yeah, they lost to Chicago by Game 7, but
yeah, they did, and
They blew that
I
game
had
7. They could have
Anaheim.
won that game 7.
Yeah, that was a great comeback by Chicago, but that was Anaheim's Game 7 to win.
And they
That
fell
was
off
Anaheim's
chokers.
ticket in. Anaheim was going to beat Tampa Bay in 5 games I had, and
yeah,
they lost.
whoever would have won out of the West was going to win the Stanley Cup. That wouldn't have mattered.
I had the Blues winning it
I
last year.
had Tampa when they beat Montreal. I was like, Tampa just beat the playoff favorites again. I think they do it. And they beat New York Rangers. They beat the favorites from the East.
Oh, yeah.
And then they just really hard. And it's because they're young. And
Right.
they were riddled with injuries. And I say this with a very heavy heart, if Tyler Johnson and Ben Bishop weren't injured in that series, it would have been a lot different.
Oh, yeah.
Big time.
It probably would have been a Game 7 overtime victory, and I don't know who would have won. I really don't.
And if Stamkos actually did more in the playoffs, they would have had a better chance of winning.
I think the biggest joke in Tampa for that playoff run was their rookie Tyler Johnson had more playoff goals than Stamkos in his last 2 runs. I think that's what correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that was the stat, was Tyler Johnson had more playoff goals than Steven Stamkos had his 2 last runs in that playoff run. I think it was 9.
I think you are correct.
Yeah, he had 9 goals in that playoff run. Now, what does that say about Tyler Johnson? Tyler Johnson's pretty quiet this season so far.
Oh, yeah. I think he's the only one without a goal out of the triplets line, I think, right now, or something like that.
Wow.
He's very quiet.
That scares me. It's like, is he still injured? What's the issue? Or is he just getting ready for a great season?
You never know.
Could be a
can't
slow
really tell.
start.
Yeah,
Maybe he's waiting
can't
for
really-
some sort of spark to finally ignite.
I think the minute Stamkos gets traded, if he gets traded, that's when Tyler Johnson gets loud. Because he's going to have to step up as a leader. Victor Hedman gets the C, I say. I say Victor Hedman's going to get the C in Tampa.
If Stamkos leaves.
If Stamkos gets traded, I say Victor Hedman gets the C. You can agree or disagree with me, but
I could see it.
he is a very good, talented player. He's had his experience in the NHL for quite a few games. What's he at, 700 now, or
Who?
something?
Stamkos?
No, Hedman. He just
Hedman?
passed it.
I don't think he's at 700.
What is he at? He's at some.
He's been in the league a few years.
They
Drew
just
just passed 700 or 500. Drew just passed a milestone. I don't know about Hedman.
I know Hedman passed one. I forget exactly what it was.
Yeah, because Lad's having his 700th game tonight, so that's kind of impossible.
Right.
I don't know. If
300?
we can find that, I'd love to know, because, yeah, Hedman's good. Hedman's got the skills to be a leader for that Tampa team.
I would honestly give the C to Callahan, though.
Okay, yeah,
Give it
sorry,
to-
Callie's a good choice, too.
Oh, well, he was already a captain in New York.
In New York.
Yeah, so he's got the ability.
And experience.
I don't know. Tampa's got some good young players, but again, they're still a young team. There's still a long way to go for that club. But I say we haven't seen the last of Tampa performing well in the playoffs.
And they got their young goalie back from injury.
Oh,
yeah,
Vasilevsky's back. Yeah,
Yep,
Yeah.
he's practicing finally.
Vasilevsky's got to be one of my favorite rookie goaltenders in the NHL.
I love him
He's
for
so
obvious
talented.
reasons. That's his connections with Nabokov.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there for a second.
How did we go from Anaheim to Tampa? That's weird. Okay.
That's my point. All right. Now,
Who's next?
another thing I want to talk about.
Okay.
Connor McDavid and Jack Eichel. I'm going to bring it up. Connor McDavid has embarrassed Jack Eichel so far. At first, you look at the first 10 games or whatever it was, or not 10 games, the first 5 games, and you're like, where's Connor McDavid? I think he had 1 goal or whatever, and it was a deflection, and Jack Eichel had 2 pretty ones. Now McDavid is, he's
McDavid is leading scorer in rookies.
Is he? I thought he was behind Larkin.
No, he's got Larkin only has 2 goals.
Well, 2. I'm just talking scoring altogether, but
Larkin's at the bottom.
Is he?
Yeah, it's in order. It goes McDavid, Eichel, Domi.
Oh, really?
Domi.
Wasn't the guy from the Rangers have
just passed for
5 goals,
second in the league.
Yeah, I thought Domi and McDavid were tied, or they were at least close.
What about the guy from the Rangers?
Yeah, I think Domi is in second now.
Yeah.
Doesn't the guy from the Rangers have 5 goals or something?
Who's the guy on the Rangers?
They're a rookie. Doesn't he have 5 goals or something?
Berg, I think his name was Oscar Lindbergh or something like that.
Something like that.
Oscar,
Yeah.
Yeah, he's doing pretty good too, eh?
But he kind of went quiet. He scored all of his goals within the first 3 games, and then he hasn't done anything since.
Yeah, no, he scored last night.
Oh, did he?
Yep. No, Stolberg scored, sorry. He assisted on Stolberg's goal.
Okay.
But, yeah.
David is finally showing why he was the number 1 pick. He looks, for the start, that hit that he did to Oduya pissed me off. But outside of that, I think he's been great. I mean, once he came on, he's been great. He's shown why he was the number 1 overall pick.
You guys know my hate for McDavid, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Well done.
I will not be ashamed in saying that he has been impressive. And that pisses me off because I really don't like him, but fuck, the kid's good. He's proved me wrong since the last podcast. And that's what pisses me.
He's an absolute boring interviewer, though. You listen to his interviews, he's monotone the whole time. Like,
I love
the
Oilers. So much fun.
Yeah, he sounds. I've never been to Edmonton or anywhere in Canada, but from what it's been described to me in Edmonton, it sounds kind of like a boring area, I guess. And
I can't tell you. I can tell you how it's amazing, but
I'm just saying, it sounds like he's bored. Every single time I hear him speak, he's like, "Oh yeah, I mean, I did this and then did this and then." And it's just like,
I know, man. It's like in the NHL.
Excited. And they're like, "Holy fuck! Yeah, I was skating, and then he passed it to me. I was like, woohoo!"
I mean, again, you're playing for the Oilers, and
then
they don't have really good success with their first-round picks, but still.
Oh yeah. And that's another thing. Let's bring that up. Yakupov, he's came on since being put on the same line as McDavid.
That line is scary. I will say that line is scary.
But I'm actually happy they don't have Hall on that top line. And Hall's on the second line where he's not catching as much. He's not getting the heavy defensive team draws. Because everyone's focusing on the top line. Mm-hmm. So, but I don't know what his scoring is like right now. But I haven't heard his name as much. But
Hall's been pretty quiet so far. Yeah, he hasn't been doing much, but alright, so now that we've got that out of the way, can we just go right back to Columbus?
We're gonna go back up the map to Columbus? Okay.
The fuck is happening in Columbus?
They hired Tortorella.
Yes!
That's Richards.
Torts
Great
finally
coach
gets a
last
job.
year. I don't know what the hell happened. I don't know if he started smoking weed. I don't know.
I don't think it was his fault, though. And that's the thing, is I think the team just... Here's what I think happened. They did great at the end of last year because the games didn't matter. Because they knew they weren't making it to the playoffs. They were playing carefree. They didn't have any pressure on them because no one expected anything from them.
But now everyone expects them to be a top tier team.
Everyone, I mean, there's people that were saying they're going to win the Metro, they're going to win the East, they're going to go to the Cup. And they basically, once the games actually count and start to matter,
They lay a giant egg.
they're not as good as everyone thought they were. And I think that's what it is. And honestly, I think that's what it boils down to is they're not as good as everyone thought they were.
Yeah, they've got good scorers. They've got the players. The team looks sloppy. They don't look good together.
Yeah. And that's the thing is if they can figure it out, they'll be great. If they can figure it out. But I don't think, honestly, I think it's going to go back to that old saying that, you can't win the cup, you can't get to the playoffs in October, but you can sure get yourself out of them in October. I think the same thing's happening right now. I think they've already pretty much worked themselves out of the playoffs. Because there's so many teams, especially in the Metro, there's so many teams that are just spiking up. And I'll get to Pittsburgh in a minute. Even my Flyers are, and I wasn't expecting them to be this good, to be honest. They're 4-2-1 right now. They're playing Buffalo tonight, so hopefully they'll be 5-2-1.
Yeah.
If someone would have told me that, the Flyers are going to start 5-1, I've been like, yes, I would have been happy.
No, you would have called them a liar.
I would have probably slapped them in the face and said, shut your whore mouth. The Flyers suck at start time. Historically, they're a terrible starting team. They've never had a good start.
I recall a couple of years ago when they had that horrible game against Toronto. They lost like 3-1, but they were outplayed completely.
Oh, yes. Well, a couple of years ago, when Craig Berube first started, they started off the season 1-7. And
I remember that.
But
yeah, because Claude Giroux opened the hell up.
Giroux decided, I'm going to start playing now.
Giroux said, I'm going to be number 1 in the NHL, and then scored 1 million goals.
And he still doesn't get enough credit, if you ask me. He is tied right now for overtime game-winning goals with Steven Stamkos at 6 for current NHLers, within the current era, which I think they dated it back to 2009 or something like that. So he's tied for the league lead in that with Steven Stamkos, which is already a big accomplishment to be in the same name for goal scoring as Steven Stamkos in any category.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
He leads the league in points since 2010. I mean, and still people are like, when you say name the top 10 players in the league, a lot of people leave him out, which still just baffles me because I'm like, why? He's done so much and so much stuff that goes underrated. Like even when he in that game against Boston earlier last week, they were down 4-2.
I remember watching that game
going into the third, and he scored the game-winning goal, the overtime game-winning goal, and the goal that tied him up.
I thought he scored the goal that got them back into the game.
Oh no, that's what he did.
Yeah, it was that.
Sam Gagner tied it up.
Yes.
Yeah, Sam Gagner. What a player Sam Gagner has turned out to. If you asked me at the beginning of his career what he would have been, I would have said nothing.
Yeah, in Philly he's been great.
Oh yeah,
great, but he's definitely been solid.
He's been better than he was in Edmonton.
Oh yes, in Arizona. He's been.
We don't talk about his Arizona days. He wasn't in Arizona.
What? What do you mean he was with Arizona?
I don't remember that.
If anything, you would say he wasn't in Tampa because technically he did make a 2-month stop in Tampa.
That's true.
Those guys need black and blue jerseys, eh?
Yeah. No, that was right before he went to Arizona.
No, that was back in Tampa's blue jerseys, right? And the old logo? Or was that in the New Jersey?
New Jerseys.
I think it was in
Really?
New Jersey.
Literally, this was 2 years ago. He was in Tampa.
Yeah, this is how much I don't remember seeing him in Tampa.
I found out the Hedman stat.
He was traded at the trade deadline and then bought out.
It was 400 games for Victor Hedman, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay, that makes sense. Thanks, dude.
No problem.
And then,
Okay.
But, what was it? Oh, yeah. But like I was saying, with Philly, or with Giroux specifically, I think he's still one of the more underrated players, even when it comes to physicality. I think because he's small, but yet even in the Boston game, he knocked down Chara. And it's just like, okay, why don't I just don't get it, the underrated part of him. Which I'm fine with him being underrated. It just sometimes it bugs me though.
It was like me with Vlasic for a long time.
What?
It was like me. That's like how I felt with Vlasic for the longest time.
Oh yeah, Mark Edward.
Yep.
I still think Vlasic's underrated though. I think him and
Vlasic's always been a great player.
I think him and Pavelski are criminally underrated as players.
Oh my God, yes.
Pavelski for sure.
San Jose has always been one of those teams that has never lacked in players who have the ability to dance on the ice and just score goals that you have to look at twice.
They just fail at showing up when we need them to.
Exactly.
And right now, San Jose is showing the fuck up. It was Carolina they beat 5-2 a couple nights ago.
I'm not even impressed with that win. I'm still ticked off about that 3-game losing streak. They gotta prove to me tomorrow night that they're back.
Who did they play tomorrow night?
Predators, Wednesday night rivalry.
Oh, see, there you go. That's the thing is they need to. I'm not gonna say any team. Teams need to. You'll know if San Jose is a good team if they can beat other good teams. And no offense, I don't really count LA as a good team yet because, frankly, they're very inconsistent. Even though I think they're on like a 3-game winning streak right now or something like that, they're still wildly inconsistent.
I'm still not sold on their defense either.
What, San Jose's?
Well, ours and LA's.
Ever since LA lost Voinov and Doughty lost Voinov as a D partner, and granted Voinov is a piece of shit, and I don't feel sorry for him, but the team itself has suffered because Voinov was a hell of a player.
I hope Paul Martin does not get injured for the rest of the season.
Good luck with that.
Paul Martin's
Yeah.
gonna get injured tonight.
I hope not. Our defense is terrible without him.
He pretty much, you're not wrong. He makes up San Jose's defense.
You know what else is
He's
crazy?
fantastic.
Ever since Couture's injury, I don't think we've scored on the power play.
Really, that's an interesting stat.
Yep.
Couture is good, but I don't know why. I just don't like him. I don't know why. No offense.
That's like half our fan base. They find him like childish for some reason.
I just don't like Couture. I don't know why. And I don't mind San Jose as a team. I just, for some reason, Couture, I don't know if it's his face, if it's the way his teeth stick out. I don't know what it is. I just don't like Couture. I don't know.
It's like he's from Beavis and Butthead.
It does.
It's so true.
He does. He looks like Butthead. Seriously.
Yeah.
But that's not the point. I didn't even think about that.
I mean, I love the guy, but
It makes sense now.
It does. It all makes sense.
You can't unsee it now. You're welcome.
Yeah. Now every time I think of him, like that is.
You need to make that edit though.
That is the real-time version.
Yeah, definitely make that edit.
But yeah, so I don't know what it is. I know he's talented, and I know he's a good player, and he's overall a clean player. I don't know. I just don't like him. I don't know. It's like Nickelback. It's like Nickelback. Most people don't like Nickelback, even though their music isn't that bad. There's just something about them they don't like.
I don't like Chad Kroger's stupid girly hair.
Yeah, that's like you and a bunch of people.
That's what it is. It's like you don't. That's the best way to describe it. He is my.
I don't like his raspy, old smoking grandma voice.
Like I said, Logan Couture is my Nickelback. I don't like him. I don't know why. I just don't like him.
Glad he has the A though, because he's finally opening up.
Yeah. All right. So should we move to the other side of Pennsylvania? I mean, because we kind of jumped from the Flyers to San Jose, but
I want to do one thing with Philly before we do that.
Okay.
As a Flyers fan, and as I'm guessing a Danny Briere fan, do you know what his first team was?
Arizona.
Okay, good. Never mind.
Yeah,
we're good.
Arizona, and here's the thing, and actually, again, full disclaimer, I'm an avid listener to Sirius NHL Network on Sirius XM. I love it. I listen to it every day. When I'm at work, I work on an assembly line, so literally I put in my headphones and listen to that all day, and I'm getting my fix. But they were saying that Marty Biron was actually was doing an interview, or was getting interviewed, and he said when they were in the AHL, and I think Arizona's AHL affiliate at the time was Springfield, maybe, and Biron was with someone else, was with Rochester. I'm pretty sure that those are the teams that he said. Briere and Biron grew up with each other, played midget together, and all that stuff. And Briere would go up to him and say, like, "Hey, I need a goal. You know, Arizona's looking at me, so I can get promoted." And then he would go up. He'd score a goal that game, then go up, and then he would score while he was in Arizona, but they couldn't afford to pay him the performance bonuses, so they would send him down. And that was shortly before they traded him to Buffalo, is because they couldn't afford to keep paying him his performance bonuses for scoring as many goals as he was. So, but he did great things in Buffalo, great things in Philly, and then he went to Montreal and Colorado and was a fourth-line player.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't like his stint in Montreal. I didn't also like his stint in Colorado.
I mean, people did.
But, you know,
yeah.
Danny Briere is always one of those players who you look at and you're like, yes, this is a player who I would let lead my team.
Right. Well, he was he's also the nicest guy.
Oh, yeah.
Then again, most hockey players are.
Yeah, for sure.
Almost all players.
Yeah,
Almost. Sean.
All right. Sean Avery was just a douche in general, though.
Oh, yeah.
Torres.
Right.
Gone.
We not talking about Torres in this podcast?
Alright, now let's move to the other side of this Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh. And I have something to say all the Pittsburgh fans. I told you so.
Oh yeah.
Hessel
to
Pittsburgh, at least on the Crosby line, would not work. And I mean, it's 10 games, and I know I'm probably getting ahead of myself. But it is a science experiment that is not producing. Crosby didn't get his first point until what, last weekend or something like that? Yep. Break that. I mean, and I'm just saying this on behalf of all hockey fans that, you know what, I hate Crosby with a passion. Oh yeah. Part of that's because I have to, because I'm a Philadelphia fan and I am legally obligated to. I signed a contract at birth. But believable. Yeah, exactly. I came out of the womb with a Crosby sucks sign. But that makes sense. Even though I'm 24, and you know, Crosby wasn't playing really when I was born. But that's not the point. The point is though, him being good, Crosby scoring is good for the league. It is. It brings up ratings. It is good for the league for Crosby to score. Get that cancer, that pylon of Kessel off of Crosby's wing. Yeah, put him on Malkin's wing. Go back to Kunitz and Hornquist, or Kunitz and Dupuis, whoever it takes. Whoever Crosby's had chemistry in the past. Because, frankly, it's a little sad, even as a Flyers fan, looking over at the cross-state rival and seeing that Crosby, who is been largely considered the best player in the world for how many years now? Yep. Even though now I think Price has surpassed him. But Price has surpassed by far. But still.
I say Ovi's better than
Crosby. It's sad to see looking over that he's having issues scoring. And really the only difference is that Kessel's on that line. Unless he has an injury that isn't disclosed, which could happen. It is hockey. You know, we don't disclose anything.
That's terrible.
I mean, when Raffle collapsed on the bench on Saturday, and they asked Ron Hextall about it, he said, "Oh, he has an upper body injury," and that's it. Didn't say anything else, and just said, "Oh, upper body injury."
Oh,
really? It could be anywhere between the waist and the head.
Because he didn't have to. It's like it's none of your business.
Exactly. And the funny part is Raffle's playing tonight, but that's not the point.
That's also what I love about Hextall's. Hextall's like, I don't give a fuck. He's injured. Okay, he'll be back soon. He's getting better. Cool. Good talk.
Exactly.
Suck it
That's
up,
what
you're
I've
a
always
hockey
loved about
player.
Hextall is just not give a fuck attitude.
Yeah, but then again, like I said, back to the
It's like his
Crosby
play
thing,
style.
he needs to score more because frankly, it's boring when he doesn't.
Yep.
I'm not losing any sleep about it. Don't get me wrong. Seeing Pittsburgh struggle, it brings me endless excitement. But the league is a more fun league when Crosby is scoring, and you see the highlight reel goals and you see the highlight reel passes. When all the highlights coming out of Pittsburgh are from Kessel. And mainly the big one has been that overtime winner where he basically picked up his own rebound and put it in. I look at that, I'm like, all right, well, normally that's Crosby picking up the rebound or Crosby generating the shot to make the rebound. Why is it Kessel doing it all? I mean, I don't know. Crosby, like I said, Crosby has disappeared, and Mike is it Johnston or Johnson, whatever the hell his name is, needs to get the bewildered look off of his face and figure out what's going on.
Yeah. And I mean, Dan Bilesma's probably having a laugh right now because even though he's struggling in Buffalo, he left one of the best teams in the NHL, and now they suck.
At the time, yeah.
And let's be real. You look at Pittsburgh's roster, and I hate saying this because I fucking hate Pittsburgh, but they've got one of the best looking rosters in the NHL.
On paper, yes.
On paper, but on
really
ice. On ice.
And I do think part of the reason is, and Pittsburgh fans kept underselling this and kept undermining. Said, "Oh no, we'll be fine." Their defense sucks, and it's not that they're not. It's not even the fact that they're letting in goals. They can't get the puck up to the forwards. You have Letang and Mata, who both have good outlet passes. Outside of that, who's doing your outlet passes? Rob Scuderi? Ian Cole? I'm sorry, you're not going to give him the crisp outlet pass. I bet you I could put Luke Shen on the ice and he'll give a better outlet pass than Rob Scuderi and Ian Cole. And that's saying something.
Yeah, for sure.
And that
Don't you have
defense
both
is a
Shen
little
brothers on the
lackluster.
team?
Yes, we have both Shens on the team. Don't remind me.
They're breaking at one point.
Even though Braden Shen's doing good right now,
Yeah.
are doing better, but Luke Shen's been a healthy scratch for I think like 7 out of the 8 games.
Yeah. And both brothers were projected to be some of the best in the league, and neither of them have performed at all.
Well, I think both. I think both Toronto and Philly fucked up both of them, though, to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
Because Toronto with Luke Shen, and both the same thing. They both came right in at 18 and started playing in the NHL.
Can't
Yeah.
reach players like that.
The Flyers did it to Braden, and the Maple Leafs did it to Luke. At 18, Braden Shen was playing in the league, and then he didn't score his first goal until the Winter Classic, and that was against the New York Rangers.
Also, that is a good goal to score as a hockey player in general.
Definitely.
Oh yeah, I mean, granted, he scored more goals in the NHL than I sure as hell ever will. But that's not the
Oh,
point.
yeah.
But the point, like I said, I think both the Flyers and the Leafs have both screwed up the Shen brothers' development by making them start at 18.
Yeah.
More so Luke Shen than Braden because Luke Shen was thrown into like first pairing with Dion Phaneuf, and you know, no one's really gonna succeed in that formula there. You can put Duncan Keith there. You can put Duncan Keith there, and he'd be rolling his eyes at Phaneuf.
Yeah.
But so Pittsburgh doesn't have the outlet pass that they need, and I think that's a big part of the problem. I mean, outside of their top 2 pairing, but their top 2 pairing is going against other top players in the league, which kind of cancels each other out. That's like in the playoffs. You don't see a lot of times the first and second line scoring as much because they kind of cancel each other out.
Yeah.
So it always ends up being whoever has the best third and fourth line.
Yeah, most of the time you're right. Yeah. But here's the thing for a team like, let's use the Rangers, who aren't doing the best right now.
Rangers are doing all right.
They're doing all right, but I thought thought that was Philly. Hold on.
No, Philly's not top. Philly's right now sitting in a wild card spot, but that's because they've only played 8 games. Okay. Or 7 games or something. 7 games. I think they're 8 this tonight, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, you are right. My bad. It is the Rangers atop, but they are tied wins and loss with the Isles. They only have one more overtime loss in the Isles.
Mhm.
And yeah, so let's use Calgary. You have that much scoring talent and defensive young talent on your team, and you
Colorado Apple syndrome. That's
Yep.
what it is.
Oh, I knew Calgary would fail.
Their advanced statistics, and I hate advanced stats. I've looked into them. I've looked at them, and I look at them, and and I hold on one second. Yep. Anyway, we can pause this.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we're going to start to talk about top 10 and bottom 10 of the league. So that obviously a third of your guys' teams will be left out. Too bad. Get over it. All right. So obviously Montreal is at the top of the league right now.
Yep.
Can I just read off the bottom 10 and then the top 10?
Yeah, sure.
You're right.
So
They're
when
all
in your
out of ties, by the
lifetime
way.
would you ever think you'd hear the bottom 10 sound like this? Pittsburgh, Ottawa, Boston, Edmonton, Colorado, Carolina, Toronto, Buffalo, Anaheim, Calgary, and Columbus. That's the bottom 10 in the NHL.
Well, a few of them.
Yeah, a few of them make sense, but when in your lifetime did you ever think Colorado, Pittsburgh, Anaheim, all recent Stanley Cup winners, are now bottom 10 NHL teams?
Yeah.
Didn't see that coming.
Anaheim, I definitely didn't see coming. I can't even lie about that.
They're Cup favorites by
Pittsburgh,
many.
Pittsburgh does lead the bottom 10. They are in 20th.
Pittsburgh. I've had a theory about Pittsburgh for a while now, and I think, and again, it's not a popular one, especially with Pittsburgh fans, but and it can be partially biased because I'm a Flyers fan. But or I try not to be biased, but I think ultimately, just because of the way Pittsburgh has set themselves up financially in cap situations, that with Crosby and Malkin on the deals that they're on, and Letang and Fleury, it is unsustainable to expect them to perform at, to be that Stanley Cup contender that they once were. Yeah. And I think that as Crosby gets older, which is happening, and that's inevitable. I mean, it's not. I think he's 28 now, maybe. I think he's 28. So in 2 years he'll be 30 years old. Malcolm will be 30 years old. I think if he's not already. So they're quickly getting older, while selling away the farm to bring in people like Kessel and everything else. And so
not old, but he's just not in good shape.
He's in good shape now. That's the thing, is he actually did good to get himself into shape, but he's also 27, I think, or 26, or he's not like, they're not picking up prospects like they should. They don't have any prospects. They haven't had a first round draft pick, and I think there was a stat out there that says they haven't had a number one or a first round draft pick make it to the NHL or play more than a full season in the NHL yet in like the past 5 years or 6 years. Something ridiculous like that. And that in a cap era, that doesn't work. That model of going out and picking up the best free agent or going out and trading for a big player, that's what the Flyers did for years. And obviously it hasn't done them any good.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
but who's their Dutch guy though? He's doing pretty good.
Sprong, and he's a rookie, and that was a good pick. And granted, he fell to them in the second round. He fell because he was projected to be a first round pick.
Yeah.
But he fell to them, and they got, and that's part of drafting. It's part of its luck. I mean, you can't say Dallas planned on Jamie Benn when they picked him in the 5th round being the player he is now.
Nope.
I mean,
I didn't think so. I sure as hell didn't think so. I saw Jamie's Benn name, and I went, okay, he's Jordy Benn's brother. Cool. Jordy Benn's older than him, so it's just another Jordy Benn. Sweet.
Yes. Exactly, and that's
it. And now Jamie Benn's one of our best players and wearing the C on our team, and I'm like, hello, Jamie Benn, man, what's up?
Fuck Big Spock.
but part of it is also knowing your scouting and everything else. So, and I think that's where Pittsburgh, and that's what will be the downfall of them, is when Crosby and Malkin get older and lose a step, because it is inevitable. Hall of Famers lose a step unless your name is Jaromir Jagr or Gordie Howe. You're going to lose a step. So, I mean, it's just a matter of time, and I think that's going to be the downfall, is that they're not like Detroit or like, and I hate to say LA, who has drafted very well over the past years.
Yeah.
And, has drafted well over the years and can roll out player after player after player after player and still sustain winning.
Yeah. But that's one thing the Kings have started being good at in the recent years, are winning. Ever since they changed those ugly ass jerseys, man, they've started winning.
Wait, which jerseys? The purple ones?
Yeah.
I like the purple.
No. The purple one was fine. It was that ugly ass alternate one that they came out with. The black one? Oh my god, it was brutal.
Oh, yes.
Let's just not talk about LA's jerseys, because they haven't had the best luck.
Yeah. So,
even the new ones now. So.
But that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. So I think that will be Pittsburgh's downfall in the end. Which, every team goes through ups and downs. Unless, again, your name is Detroit.
Yeah.
And even then, I'm not fully convinced.
I think that
they're missing it. They're missing it this year.
Yeah, and I'm convinced.
Before the season started.
At this point, I think we're just trying to piss off fans and that's one thing I never understood about Detroit fans. A lot of them have like the biggest chip on their shoulder, like, oh, we don't get no respect. Yes, you do. You get plenty of respect.
You're an original six team. You're one of the best teams in the NHL, and you want more respect? Fuck off.
Exactly.
They're one of my least favorite teams. That's rivalry reasons, though.
They moved us from the West Coast to the East Coast so we'd have an easier route to the playoffs. Fuck off.
I miss when they versed my Sharks.
Hold on.
And so it's like, when a team like Detroit bitches, it's like, just stop.
Like, you have a rich history.
Yeah,
most people respect you.
I respect Detroit, but I don't have to like them.
Right.
And that's the thing with Detroit fans, is they're like, oh, we need immediate respect because we're so fucking good. Like, nope.
I'm pretty sure a lot of people's favorite defenseman was Lidstrom.
Yeah, he's the reason that him leaving was the reason I stopped going for Detroit. Like, standing behind them, it was like, oh, Nick Lidstrom, one of my favorite defensemen. Cool.
One of my neighborhood friends from years ago was actually named after Lidstrom.
Really?
Yep. Family's interesting. Him and his dad are Devils fans. His mom's a Penguins fan, and his older brother's a Rangers fan.
That makes no sense. Classic Americans.
Hey, it's like me. I make no sense with my teams.
Man, for me, it's Dallas is my NHL. And then it's Wilkes-Barre. Pittsburgh's affiliate is my favorite AHL team, which is what? And then NFL, I'm Miami. CFL, I'm Ottawa. MLB, I'm Toronto, obviously, because it's the only Canadian team. Right. And then rugby, I'm New Zealand.
Funny you mentioned New Zealand. When I went to the Giants game on the Giants-Cowboys game, I wore my throwback Le'Veon Bell jersey, and this guy's like, why are you wearing that rugby jersey? Are you from New Zealand?
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, people are dumb.
Oh, Giants fans are funny that day. I know it's not hockey, but...
No, it's still funny, though, because Giants fans are letdowns to their families.
Oh,
I mean, what?
Devils fans were nice, though.
Huh?
Devils fans were nice, though, when I saw Devils Sharks.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they were
cool.
How
was that game, by the way? I never asked you.
Awesome. I got what I wished for, 3-on-3 overtime.
Yeah, and they won, didn't they?
And the shootout.
Man, that must have made you so happy. You must have been losing it.
Yeah, my heart was pounding for those 5 minutes in overtime.
Oh, yeah?
It was amazing. That's probably like the best thing that's happened in hockey.
Yeah. So what jersey were you wearing?
Couture, and it was the day
Yeah?
before his injury. I mean, it was the day after his injury.
Nice.
I'm like, nah, sorry, Marlo hoodie. I gotta represent Couture.
Yeah, for sure.
And then go figure, not even a minute in the game, Marlo scores. I'm going crazy.
Oh, yeah. That was such a good game.
Jones looks stellar. I mean, yeah, I wanted his shutout streak to continue, but I'm like, I really want to see overtime though.
Huh?
Or I wanted did I say Martin Jones? Yeah, no, okay. Wow, I got Paul Martin, Martin Jones mixed up for a sec. No, I was hoping Jones would keep his shutout streak alive, but another part of me wanted to see overtime.
That Arizona-Ottawa game wasn't bad, I must say.
Yeah, I forgot to ask you about that. How was that?
It was really good. Arizona is a sharp team. It was really tight. Ottawa was outplaying them most of the game. And then in the third period, Ottawa was just playing really sloppy hockey, and Arizona took advantage and unloaded on them. It was like 3 goals in the third period.
Yeah, I remember keeping up with that term. Like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, it was like Ottawa 1-1, it was all of a sudden Arizona 2-1, Arizona 3-1, and then 4-1, and I'm like, wow. Ottawa fans were leaving like with 3 minutes to play. I was like, you guys, really?
No, I can't do that. There were Devils fans who stayed.
You always stay to the game to finish the game to show respect to both teams. Like, you don't leave.
This guy behind me was like, oh no, it's going to a shootout. We're 0-13 to the shootout. We're going to lose.
And then now they're like, what, 0-14, 0-15?
Yep. Thanks, Burns.
Was it Burnsy that got the winner?
Yes. And then Jones stopped their final shot.
Oh. And then that's when you lost your shit?
Yeah, high five the Sharks fans in front of me.
You guys must have been losing it together, eh?
Yeah. I saw a guy with a Sega jersey, I kid you not.
Like Dallas or Boston?
No, Dallas.
Really?
And then there was this grandpa who had an Ovi Winter Classic jersey. He's like, yeah, I mean, I was a Blues fan, but I'm giving up on them now since they're probably never going to win a Stanley Cup in my lifetime.
I don't think they're ever going to win a Stanley Cup. I think they're only in the NHL because they've been around for so long and they've had good players.
His grandson was wearing our 25th anniversary jersey of Pavelski, which was cool looking.
Oh yeah.
Gotta get me one of those.
Have you gotten one of them yet?
Nope. Honestly, I couldn't ask for a better ending to my first Sharks game.
Oh yeah. Like, that game was just taking Arizona off my bucket list.
I remember I finally saw your Facebook post about that.
Yeah, it was nice. It was nice to finally see a good game with Ottawa. Because every other Ottawa game I've been to, I was like, bored as fuck. I don't know, it's just, I don't like the way Ottawa plays. I've never have.
My dad had a great time at the game. He's like, number 18 on your team is a good skater. I'm like, Mike Brown? He's like, yeah, is that who it is? I'm like, where did you get that from, Dad? Like, I never even noticed. I guess he had a good game skating-wise.
That's another player who's been pretty quiet this year, is Mike Brown.
I don't even think he expected to really get as much play time.
Yeah.
But I mean, we still have Melker recovering. Forrest gone. So he figured, alright, time for me to step up now.
Yeah, I mean, the Sharks have always been one of those teams that never really step up until they need to, so it's kind of nice seeing them all work together.
Yeah, our leaders need to step up, though.
I am not liking Pavi as captain.
I mean, of course, I was excited when he was named, but I knew, like, yeah, I'm excited now, but I'm like, people are going to realize why I didn't want him as captain. And he showed that in our 3-game losing streak.
Yeah.
I mean, fans are going to hate me, but I blame the losses on him. Because we played sloppy.
As a captain, it's your job to step up, not let your team lose.
He wasn't stepping up. He wasn't getting the team balance. It all falls on him.
Exactly.
You don't blame it on Jones. You don't blame it on the... Okay, you can partially blame it on the inconsistent defense, but...
Let's be real, for the most part, people do, but...
I mean, he needs to step up. Thornton's been not too bad. I know Vlasic can't be the only one to try and fix that defense. But, he's an alternate now that Couture's out.
Yeah, for sure.
Lately, though, it seems like Ward, Thornton, and Marlowe, I guess a little bit of Pavelski, too, are like our leaders.
Yeah.
Offense-wise, I mean.
Yeah, offense-wise.
Glad Ward's fitting in well, though.
Yeah, Joel Ward's doing really well this year.
I was always hoping he'd eventually land in San Jose, and that finally happened.
Yeah, he's a good player. I like him.
We get the defender I always wanted in Martin.
Yeah, Paul Martin. What a player.
I'm just worried about Jones now.
Jones is going to get injured or traded to Toronto.
No, but I do have a bold trade prediction.
Okay.
I don't know how the trade's going to go down, but after Sharks fans finally realize how crappy Stalock is, I say we go for a backup, and I'm going to say it's going to be Reimer.
Really?
Yep.
Stalock for Reimer.
Well, I wouldn't say Stalock for Reimer, but I don't think Toronto would ever do that, but...
No.
Well, we'll dump Stalock somehow.
Yeah,
I don't know, I just have a gut feeling. Because he probably wants out of Toronto. He's been thrown under the bus. He's not too bad.
Okay. We both know how bad Reimer really is.
But I mean,
we
it's
all
Toronto.
learned it in Game 7, so...
Oh, yeah, yeah, that's true.
That was brutal.
But come on, anybody is a step up from Stalos. I call him Stalos, people.
Because he loses all the time.
He does. He's terrible.
Any game that Stalock has started, he's lost.
No, fans were just jumping on his bandwagon. That one game against Minnesota.
Oh, it's Stalock's return home. He'll be great. He won. Oh my god. Stalock's the future of San Jose. No.
He's the reason why Nemo's gone, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And that's why I despise him. And then you have all the fans supporting him for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah.
Glad they finally see it my way, though. For the most part.
Slowly but surely.
Slowly but exactly. Slowly but surely.
And like, who knows with that San Jose roster, man.
If we could just stay healthy, people produce.
Yeah.
We can hopefully break our curse, make that run.
I think it might be a few more years before you see them hoist a cup.
It could be. I'll still be patient. We'll see how it goes, though.
Yeah.
I think now's a good time to end the podcast.
I guess so.
Alrighty.
Alright, talk to you later, man.
Alrighty. Thank you, everyone, for watching.